DonInLondon, hello, it's October 20th, 2009. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol. My behaviour, trying to be perfect, never so, full of fear, putting on a brave face. If it wasn't alcohol, it would be something else I would find myself either obsessed or addicted to. And that was work, workaholic, relationships, relationshipaholic, any sort of ism one can possibly imagine. And alcohol took over my life. I became a 24/7 drinker, so fearful I couldn't even open the front door. And then I had no door to open. I became homeless. So as many find, the problem with alcohol isn't alcohol, the problem is ourselves. And when we take a drink, we don't know where it's going to lead. And for the addict or addicted person, there seems no way out. We are a prisoner within our own mind. So tragic, and not many people get to recovery, and that's a sad fact. You know, for those who are diagnosed as drink dependent or understand they are drink dependent through to becoming addicted, life gets completely unmanageable and we feel completely powerless, and depression sets in, and many people get suicidal, and then they can't stop, and they cease to be here. So what is the ratio of those who actually make it through to some sort of recovery? The true answer is nobody knows, but there are many people out there who speculate that maybe 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 gets there somehow into recovery. Even today, the figures, statistics, they're out there. But what do they mean? Well, to me they mean nothing. What's important to me is how to keep sober one day at a time and share a message of experience, strength and hope. And I was kept alive long enough by family, friends, community, professionals in order to get that moment of clarity, I guess. For me it was simply, I cannot get out of this on my own. And then I was open again. I let go of self-will, self-obsession on a daily basis, and I still do that because it's so easy to be tripped back into thinking I'm in charge of my recovery. I get choices on a daily basis, and that's as simple as that. Choices on a daily basis to keep sober, and then let life happen and be a part of life, to be included, to find love, be loved back, and have something useful to do. So that's where I've got to, and what helps me more than anything is fellowship, and that fellowship is Alcoholics Anonymous. I don't speak for it, never can, never will, and I'm so grateful I can't and don't want to, because it's full of unique, authentic people who speak for themselves wherever they choose. And when it says anonymity, for me it means the sanctuary to find the truth of ourselves, and for me truth is the spiritual connection to living in the moment of now. All sounds altruistic and easy. Well, it's not. It's a daily grind sometimes, and sometimes it's an absolute pleasure. But even in the painful times, it's worth it, because we get to see a bit of joy and happiness and sadness as life affords. So we are human again. We become human rather than a processing machine from alcohol or whatever substance or addiction we have. So I go to AA meetings as often as I can. There are 12 steps of action for the individual to be open, honest and willing to live well. And there are 12 traditions which hold the fellowship together, which is around unity, service and recovery. And I always share the preamble or the statement of intent shared at every meeting, and then I share some of the readings of AA here. And it's part of my daily reflection, just 10 minutes out of my day, just to get myself centred and feel okay. So the statement of intent about AA. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So as I say, I share what's going on for me, and for the last 24 hours it's been okay. And I got to a newcomers meeting last night, and a newcomers meeting is where people are either not sober a day or two, or a few days, or a few weeks or months, through to people who have been there for a long time, or in the fellowship a long time. And I'm in the sort of middle bracket, I guess. But I'm only sober one day, and it's this one which counts. So last night's meeting, 2 chairs, one from a person I know pretty well, and is becoming a friend on a daily basis, and somebody I don't know. And their message to the newcomer was very simple. It may sound glib: don't drink and get sober. Try out some steps of action about how to keep sober. Be included in life. And the fellowship provided me with a clue how to find inclusion again, and that is how to be human. So I'm extraordinarily grateful always about that. Anyway, the Daily Reflections, one of the books I use here, it talks of solace for confusion. Obviously, the dilemma of the wanderer from faith is that of profound confusion. He thinks himself lost to the comfort of any conviction at all. He cannot attain, even in a small degree, the assurance of the believer, the agnostic, or the atheist. He is the bewildered one, and that was me. I had no faith, no understanding, no courage, completely empty, desolate, and depressed beyond measure. The concept of God, or good conscience for me, was one that I struggled with during my early years of sobriety. The images that came to me, conjured from my past, were heavy with fear, rejection, and condemnation. Then I heard my friend Ed's image of a higher power. As a boy he had been allowed a litter of puppies, provided he assumed responsibility for their care. Each morning he would find the unavoidable byproducts of the puppies on the kitchen floor. Despite frustration, Ed said he couldn't get angry because this was the nature of puppies. Ed felt that God viewed our defects and our shortcomings with a similar understanding and warmth. I have often found solace from my personal confusion in Ed's calming concept of God. And for me, where it said defects and shortcomings, on any given day my defects can be fear putting on a brave face, and my ego coming out to haunt me, and my shortcomings not enough faith, courage, or confidence to meet the day. So what gives me a bit of a grounding is realising my humanness on a daily basis, and if I'm lucky I can stick with that. And October, 10th month, there are 12 steps of action for the individual, and step 10 is all about taking personal inventory on a daily basis to see how we're doing. And we can do it any time, just to find out what is making life work, or living life and it's working, or life isn't working and there's something going on. And it says here in As Bill Sees It on page 233, everyday living. The AA emphasis on personal inventory is heavy because a great many of us have never really acquired the habit of accurate self-appraisal. Once this healthy practice has become a habit, it will prove so interesting and profitable that the time it takes won't be missed. For these minutes and often hours spent in self-examination are bound to make all the other hours of our day better and happier. At length our inventories become a necessity of everyday living, rather than something unusual or set apart. And the gift in all of that is that when something is going right, we can ask, why is it going right? Why is life working out today? And when it's not going quite so good, why is it going the other way? And often it's in our attitude and behaviour. And sometimes when we wake up in the morning, who knows? For some reason we don't feel quite right with the world. But there is a prayer which is used over and over again by not only people within AA but across the world, and it doesn't matter whether you believe in God or you're an atheist or an agnostic. It's a prayer to good conscience as much as anything, around acceptance of what is. And it goes like this: God, or to good conscience, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is always just for me in one day. So when I break it down, the things I can do, the things I cannot do, and the wisdom to know the difference, always and forever learning in this one day in which we all live. More later.